I want to talk about competency-based hiring for a moment. I think it's great that you guys are building out a whole framework that not only applies to hiring, but also for development and performance and everything like that. A lot of organizations are interested and really want to base their hiring process more around sets of competencies and really can this person, do they have the skills and the right behaviors to do this job rather than, whatever you see on a resume. But I find that a lot of organizations just don't really know where to start with that. It's like, how do we know, okay, we've got this job. How do we know what the competencies should be? How do we know we have enough of them that we're evaluating? How do we know that we're not evaluating too much and being too picky and, fluffing up too much as far as the number of competencies that we're evaluating for? So how did you guys get started with that? Like, what was your first step?
It's funny. Sometimes, like when I've talked with other recruiters, I'm like, how do you define competency-based hiring? And it's always that, the skills, and it's hard to define. And that's why I said, like, that was one of the bigger things. And so how we have approached creating our competency framework is we are looking at it for each of our functional teams. So like the people team that I am a part of, our finance team, and it's a multi-step process. So we first connected with, the team members to ask, like, what are the things that drive success in your team? What are the skills that you need to know in order to do your job? Because I could live out Merit America's values. I could, meet my goals, but I know nothing about finance. I would be an awful controller. I would be very bad at that. And so we, first did a feedback loop with all the employees on the team. And then we kind of like synthesized and, pulled out trends, met with the team lead to kind of say, like, here's everything they said. Sometimes it's like 13 different things, and that's not something we can really evaluate across the board. And then from there, they helped us kind of fine tune it and went through several iterations of, us creating something, them giving feedback until we landed with something that we're able to use. And I said it joking, like 13 competencies, like, can you realistically assess 13 competencies in a hiring process? And the process I described for you in creating the competencies was for, our competency frameworks we're going to use for hiring and for performance management. But kind of what I tell folks is like, what is the different stages of the hiring process and what competencies are you assessing at each stage? And you can't have your laundry list of things. Like, what is truly the things that you really need? What are the things that are going to drive success? And how can we build our entire process around assessing those specific skills? It is not easy, but I think that, when you build your process around competencies, when you make your performance task simulate like real life challenges the candidate will face in the role, not those like abstract puzzles or gut questions, but when you're like giving them an opportunity to say, like, this is something you could face in this role, we are able to assess, like, can they do it? And the candidate can assess, do I like doing this? Is it too hard? Is it too easy? And I really think this, approach has been game changing for us. And we brought in really great talent. And it also has then led to the onboarding process because, new hires have already demonstrated the capabilities that we need them to in this role. It's been a really, really cool process.